gentlemen, my name is
Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
Welcome, everyone, to Smackdown Live.
Smackdown Live Edition.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Howard Dingers, and welcome to 3 Count Review presented by First Round KO Smackdown Live Review. That was really good timing by you, I'm not going to lie. No, not yet. Now it is.
Okay, why did it take you until...
There's a story.
12 minutes after?
There's a long story.
I...
And I'll tell you afterwards, because this probably won't take too long.
Okay,
But yes,
that's fine.
ladies and gentlemen,
I need time to eat and recuperate, because I would have literally been here since 11. I have been here since 11 in the morning.
Oh my goodness.
The only break that I had was to A, go to get Einstein from the UC,
Nice.
and B, to go help set up volleyball.
Right.
Other than that, I will have been in this building from 11 a.m. till the time that we're done recording the podcast. And people ask, do I really live here?
Yes. The answer is yes.
It has been yes for 3 years. And it's muggy in here.
It is very muggy in here. Joining me today, as you've already heard, Mr. Connor J.D. Moore. It's basically an episode of First Round KO. But let's dive right into this SmackDown review. This probably won't take too long because not a lot happened. A lot of long segments on this episode. And yeah, the first half of the show was really good. Second half, not so much. As far as an episode of SmackDown goes, not up to standards. I honestly would probably have to say Raw was better this week.
Was it?
Shockingly. But yeah, whatever. So the night actually, did you get to watch anything?
Absolutely not.
Cool. You get to hear this first from me.
I mean, I technically read the Bleacher Report, recap, but as far as did I physically watch anything? Right. The answer is no. I did not. The night literally opened up with, they did a video package, blah, 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 and then in the ring already was Becky and Charlotte. The title was already being raised, and they said, SmackDown Women's Championship. Ding, 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 bell rang, which, I'm not going to lie, is a refreshing start to a WWE show. Because lately, I shouldn't even say lately, over the past couple years, the opening to a show has involved most of the time an authority figure in the ring or, Roman Reigns or someone in the ring saying, hey, welcome to the show. This is what happened last week. This is what's going to happen tonight. Have fun. I would have rather preferred this match to be the main event over what actually was the main event.
Yes, I completely agree. Or the second match. Because like I said, the second match was the Joe Hardy match.
Oh, yeah.
And that would have been...
Yeah, can we talk about how Hardy wasn't written off TV like we all thought he was?
He kind of was. And we'll get into that because there is some interesting stuff with that. I do kind of like what they're doing. But anyway, the show opened up with Becky versus Charlotte. This match, normal one-on-one match, but if Becky were to get herself DQ'd, she lost the title. This was good because this is a stipulation that makes sense for a rematch playing off of their last match. Unlike the Samoa Joe AJ Styles no disqualification match, which had nothing to do with the first match. He tapped out and you got pinned at the same time. Let's have a no DQ. That makes no sense at all. But I like this because obviously Becky got herself DQ'd over at Super Showdown. So this was good. I prefer their Super Showdown match.
Still haven't seen it.
Becky had a pretty bad botch in this. I'm not going to lie. They did that spot where, Charlotte, the opponent throws you, they have you in, a wheelbarrow type of thing, and then they throw you into the turnbuckle. You know what Dolph Ziggler always does this spot because he's really good at it.
Yeah.
Apparently Becky isn't because it was bad. Go watch it. But other than that, Becky's amazing. She was good in this match other than that one spot. Charlotte is still not fantastic. She's kind of lost a little bit of her edge lately over the past year, especially after that whole Sasha thing last year. Like, she was actually really good with Sasha, but now, I don't know, she's losing a little bit of it with Becky. And as I predicted while this match started, this match ended in a double countout because, of course, it was going to. They weren't going to have Becky win clean on SmackDown. They weren't going to have her DQ'd because she would have lost her title. This was the obvious. The only other thing I would have seen was Becky getting counted out herself, because that's not technically a disqualification. But like I said, as soon as they started the match and they played into the countout thing a couple of times, and once I saw that, I was, of course, double countout. After the match, though, Becky grabbed her title and was leaving the arena, leaving the stage area, and Charlotte started running after her, and Charlotte speared Becky through the Minitron. Like, completely broke through the, I don't know what you call that, like the little,
there's
the
thing in the
display
middle,
screen.
and there's the other.
Right, there's the Titantron, and then there's the thing.
Well, there's the thing in the middle, and there's the two other things on the outside.
Right, and she speared Becky through one of those, and it looked brutal. Charlotte came out with blood just all over her arm. Like, Charlotte.
Charlotte? Oh, wow.
She must have hit something, because someone was bleeding really bad. It looked really good. I will have to admit, that spot looked amazing. So now I'm really excited because, as we see later in the night, it is announced that at Evolution, it will be Charlotte versus Becky in a last woman standing match for the title.
Isn't it the first time ever on the main roster?
I was gonna say, they say the first ever last women standing match.
I thought they said first time ever on the main roster on the show. Or maybe the review said first time ever on the main roster.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Paige just said the first ever last women standing match. Even though Nikki Cross and Asuka had one, but that's whatever. Down in NXT. But yeah, overall, good match, I guess. Are you excited for this Evolution match at least?
I naturally was.
Yeah.
I mean, when we saw the leak, when we saw that program was still continuing well into Evolution, I was excited because these two put on really great matches. So
True.
The only reason I will not get excited is if they find a way to make the feud stale, which somehow, credit to the writers, they haven't. So,
but based on evidence coming into later in the show, I'm a little worried. I'm also worried that they're going to give Charlotte the title back at Evolution. But we'll get into that when Evolution comes closer. The second match, which I think, because I liked the opening of the title match, I liked that. I liked how that worked out.
Yeah.
This match should have been the main event, because although the way it finished, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they should have done AJ Shelton last. They definitely shouldn't have had Randy and Big Show last. We'll just say that. There was plenty of other options, plenty of other things they could have ended on. But anyway, the next we had a World Cup qualifying match between Samoa Joe and Jeff Hardy. This was Jeff Hardy's return to SmackDown. So, like you said, we were thinking that Jeff Hardy was going to be written off of TV for a while.
Sure did.
He technically was. Only a couple. I mean, it was a month.
That's
I think.
Not enough.
I agree.
Mind, a month off is like just a resting period. Being written off in my mind is like you are not seen or heard from for months on end, and you make some triumphant or
I was personally
out of nowhere return.
I was personally rooting for a Royal Rumble return for Jeff.
I would have been fine with Survivor Series.
That too, yeah. But okay, so here's the reason I'm okay with it. First of all, I knew Jeff was going to be at Crown Jewel just because I know the Prince likes 90s wrestling and like older wrestling. I knew that Jeff was going to be at Crown Jewel.
Because who likes?
Because the Prince over in Saudi.
Oh, they run like princes and stuff like that in
like the Saudi Prince who's running who basically put this all together, put the greatest Royal Rumble together and now doing this.
Okay.
He's a big 90s and early 2000s wrestling kind of fan.
Okay.
That's why this DX versus Brothers of Destruction match is happening. That's why Hulk Hogan is rumored to be there.
Sounds like a freaking nostalgia trip.
That's why this World Cup match, honestly, the tournament.
Yeah.
So far, we have John Cena, Kurt Angle, Jeff Hardy, and Randy Orton. And now it looks like Rey Mysterio is going to win next week, potentially.
No, isn't that match for the U.S. title?
No, it's a World Cup qualifying match.
Oh.
And I believe Ray will win
via DQ.
It's looking like it's a early 2000s tournament.
Yay! Let me go. While we're at it, let me go boot up SmackDown versus Raw 2008.
It's a house show. Like, I don't know why people are surprised by this, honestly. But yeah, no. So here's why I really like this, like the return. Not necessarily how early it is, but the way they did this. So Hardy came back, and he's still babyface, but he was a lot more aggressive in the match. He was very aggressive, specifically towards Samoa Joe's knee. So we saw at Super Showdown that that Joe injured his knee.
Yeah.
He was saying it popped, and then he tapped out to the Styles Clash, tapped out to the calf crusher.
Yeah.
And so now in this match, Jeff was being very aggressive, going after the knee, not like a heel way going after the knee, but he was just working it in wrestling sense, working the knee.
Yeah,
it was really good. And the commentators were putting over how much more aggressive Jeff looks now that they were saying he's been in the Hell in a Cell. He knows what this punishment feels like. So now he's relaying that punishment to Samoa Joe. Now he seems more aggressive. He knows what he has to do to win these kind of matches because he couldn't beat Randy Orton type of thing. I don't know. They were putting it over really well. I have faith.
I don't think it's a heel turn. I think
it's definitely not a heel turn.
It's a Brother Nero turn.
What it might be is a slow babyface turn for Samoa Joe. Because he has looked very sympathetic in these past two matches.
Really?
Yes, because the way this match ended was Joe could not stand on his leg. He kept trying to stand up, and he kept falling down. The ref called the match because he couldn't stand, and Jeff Hardy won. And Joe has it's like, I can't feel bad for this guy after this. I can't. It's not like I'm looking at him and going like, yeah, you deserve that. Like, no, I actually feel bad for you. Like, he can't stand up right now.
I think at this point he's probably just gonna. It looks like it's gonna be a babyface turn, but I think he's just gonna come back and just beat the ever living crap out of somebody.
I think he will, but I think he can do a babyface type of thing. I think he can go after Randy Orton or go after heels, still be the same Samoa Joe character, just go after heels. He did it in TNA, and it worked like a charm.
It's not TNA, though.
I agree, but it's Samoa Joe. Yeah. Samoa Joe can make a lot of things work.
I think you give too much. I think you're giving too much credit to the writing process.
That too.
I think Samoa Joe as a face. It's the same thing how I categorized Becky Lynch and Charlotte and everything. How I said how Becky was the company's heel, but the people's face.
Yeah.
Samoa Joe is the people's face, and clearly.
Yeah, right.
He's the people's face to an extent wherever on certain cities, but
I just think the way they booked him here,
he gets more heel reactions than Becky ever did.
Yes.
So in my
100%.
opinion, I don't know. I just can't. Face Samoa Joe is a weird prospect for me to wrap my head around. Now, then again, this is also coming from someone who has not watched a lot of WWE programming really since Hell in a Cell. I haven't watched anything since Hell in a Cell.
That's fair.
And I don't know the landscape as far as the face versus heel ratio, which is one of the reasons why I'd assume why they turned Bobby on Raw. So I don't know how the landscape looks on SmackDown, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
It's very heel heavy now that I'm thinking about it.
So if the face to heel ratio is heavy, and you're getting a returning Rey Mysterio, which default face.
It's not confirmed that he's staying on SmackDown though. He is wrestling because it's SmackDown 1000. He is wrestling there, but it's not confirmed that he's gonna stay there.
It's way too. He's got to stay on SmackDown. Where are they gonna put him on Raw? Where do they slot him in realistically on Raw? There is no.
I was gonna say 205 Live, but that's on Wednesday.
That's a waste of a return.
I completely agree. But
like, if you're gonna put Rey Mysterio back on, and they
put Austin Aries and Neville over there.
Not
Hideo Itami's over there. I'm just saying it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah, but Neville, he had his run in the main roster, and then he was still on the main roster when he initially came back from that injury and when he turned the heel turn, and then he was he was better suited for 205 Live. Now, granted, this is when they still mixed the cruiserweights with Raw.
True.
So they were still very much on WWE programming.
You do bring up a good point. There are a lot of heels. Honestly, the only top baby faces that I can think of are Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. And then the next one is like...
Depends on how you...
Jeff Hardy.
And then the next one on the
Ty Dillinger.
On the woman's side of things...
Charlotte. Unfortunately.
It depends on how they're really going with this.
How they're booking. It's definitely Charlotte.
And how they book... I would say how they look. It's so 50-50.
Like I'm forgetting someone.
like one week.
Rusev is technically babyface right now.
Yeah. Which is another reason why I think Ray is going to stay on SmackDown because there's no.
I hope
he
does.
Nowhere to put him.
I'm just saying that it's not confirmed that he's staying.
I think it's kind of pseudo confirmed. I mean, because think about it.
There's rumors that he's just not. We'll see.
I mean, well, WWE came out yesterday on their Facebook page and said he's full time.
He's full time.
Yeah.
He's WWE full time.
Yeah. So in my opinion, if he's going to be full time, one, there's no way on this God-given earth that they're going to stick such a fan favorite and stash him on 205 Live because that's a waste. Because that's a waste of a return.
Oh, absolutely.
You want to maximize every last bit of Rey Mysterio while you have him.
Yes.
So he's going to be on main WWE programming.
Yes.
And number two, as far as Raw, it makes sense in a way because it seems like the entire Ruthless Aggression era is going to Raw seemingly now with the Brothers of Destruction and DX now back. And
so perfect.
And I have my everyone knows I have my issues with Shawn Michaels being back. Not that I'm anti Shawn Michaels. I'm a firm believer of just stay away. Right.
But money talks.
Oil money talks.
I was gonna bring this up later with the Big Show match, but might as well talk about it now. I'm starting to get concerned for the brand split because more and more recently they have been not as attentive to detail when it comes to Raw and SmackDown exclusive people. So when John Cena did it, he was a free agent. They made that very clear. He was a free agent. He could go to whatever show he wanted to. But Brie Bella returns. She's on Raw and SmackDown for a couple weeks. Big Show was a Raw talent. Last time we saw him was on Raw. Now Big Show's just kind of turning up on SmackDown. No fanfare made about it. I'm starting to get worried, and now maybe Ray too. Who knows what he's going to do. I'm starting to get worried. Triple H is just kind of coming over to SmackDown for with the Evolution thing. Mm-hmm. That's weird. I'm starting to get worried for the brand split because we saw this happen the first time they did the brand split. Vince has gotten bored of this before, and I'm starting to think maybe he's getting bored of it again.
Yes, I can see what you're saying, but I also think that some of these guys coming over to SmackDown for the one night only thing. Because SmackDown, for a lot of those guys that we mentioned, I don't want to say that they really got it going on SmackDown, but they had some pretty noteworthy programs like under the SmackDown umbrella.
Right.
And I just think it all just falls under the fact. It all falls under the umbrella that we just so happen to be falling under a year of SmackDown 1000 hits. So I wonder if that's just all timing wise, but I don't know. They've been doing a good job sticking to this, for the most part, sticking to this brand split in the sense of they have the separate announced teams and everything like that, and they had
Corey Graves,
right? The thing. But remember when they did the whole best of both worlds thing? When they
it's the best of both
even
worlds.
When they did do the brand split, they still had them. Personally, I still like the fact that it's a brand split, but they're still putting them on the same pay-per-views.
No, yeah, I do like. I hated having 2 pay-per-views a month. It was terrible.
Right,
they do switch commentaries for each match,
and you don't see a whole lot of. There's not any overlap unless they're promoting the other show's thing,
which is stupid in hindsight. If you actually think about it, they're competing Raw and SmackDown. So why are you?
No, because they've got to promote the entire pay-per-view.
No,
if it's
if
it's a co-branded pay-per-view, the commentary teams should talk about the other brands' matches.
I do get that, but when they show highlights from Raw or SmackDown on the other show, because when this brand split happened, Vince looked at Shane and Stephanie and was like, you guys are competing. Go draft the better thing. You guys will compete once a year at Survivor Series. you are competing. And now they're showing highlights of Raw and SmackDown on Raw and SmackDown. I mean, they were doing that basically when it started too. I don't know. That's just, there's a lot of nitpicky things. I'm just worried about it.
Right.
I hope that they don't cancel it. I don't think they will, especially with this Fox deal coming, I think next year. I don't know when next year, probably late next year, probably around the same time, 2019. I would assume that they keep the brand split for that. I think Fox would want that too. I don't think they do. Whatever.
I'm gonna say I think the lines are being blurred right now, but as of right now, they're definitely gonna keep the brand split going because Raw is still gonna be a USA property. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose they kind of have to then.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily because
I think so.
The way that works, they have the rights to show the episodes.
Yeah.
It's not like they control. Like USA doesn't have any control over creative storylines or anything like that.
No, they don't. They just show the episodes.
So like having people, I don't know. It's a whole thing. We'll see how it works out.
I don't know. I still think that as far as like if SmackDown showing the Raw highlights, again, I still think it makes sense because there's a brand split, but they put the whole co-branded pay-per-view thing.
But yeah, I understand it for pay-per-views, but just on I think yesterday on this episode of SmackDown, they were like, look what Triple H and Shawn Michaels did.
Well, yeah, because WWE's going to hammer home Nostalgia Lane the entire way.
Stupid, though. They're competing shows.
It's not stupid in the sense of that it's Triple H, it's Shawn Michaels, it's the Brothers of Destruction. They are going to run that nostalgia down everyone's throats. Like, you mean to tell me if DX returned on SmackDown that WWE is like hammering
actually
on all
they
those
are next week.
Yes,
Triple H is going to be wearing 2 different T-shirts next week.
That's true. DX was a little bit of everywhere. It's not the first time he's done that either.
No, one episode he appeared in like 4 different episodes, and like he was Triple H, he was Evolution, he was DX, and there's another one that I'm forgetting.
Probably COO.
Yeah, maybe just that. That's what I'm. But anyway,
back to his administrative role.
Evolution was never on SmackDown. They were a Raw exclusive stable, and now they're reuniting with a very heel Randy Orton. We'll talk about that later too, because I do want to talk.
But there's so many. But I mean, all of them individually had pretty damn good runs.
But the fact that they're doing Evolution's returning, I don't know. It's weird.
It's at a place to do it on Raw though. They missed their mark on Raw with Raw 25 and Raw 1000 or Raw 25.
They could just do it though. I don't know.
It's out of place now, especially with half of them. One of them retired. Retired doesn't exist in this company anymore.
No.
And one of them straight heel on SmackDown.
Exactly.
And the other one is technically not a full-time
wrestler. One is a comic book hero.
Who?
Batista.
Oh, right. I'm saying Batista's not even there anymore. Yeah, exactly. And Triple H is technically an office guy, and he only pops up he only pops up right around it gets to one of the big pay-per-views.
Right.
Whether it's Survivor Series, whether it's the Rumble,
right.
Whether it's WrestleMania, and he somehow, some way works. And usually, in the past few years, he works his way around SummerSlam. But, anyways, we have an entire show to get through.
Yes.
And then I have Hog Talk to prepare for.
Paige books Becky versus Charlotte at Evolution, calls it the first time ever. Not true. Next, we had a very good Miz TV episode with AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan. This is fantastic because, I mean, obviously it's going to be because Miz is amazing, Daniel's amazing, AJ's amazing. They have really good chemistry together. Daniel and Miz just have fantastic chemistry together. Like, you could tell that this wasn't very scripted. This was one of those segments where they sent them out and said, hey, go do, like, highlight these key points. Say these couple one-liners, the rest can be all you guys. And it was amazing. A few highlighted quotes that I have in my notes here. AJ and Daniel started off with an honorable handshake. That's how they didn't do a stare off like in UFC or anything. They had a handshake, and Miz didn't like that. Miz was like, you guys should hate each other. You guys are about to have a match. You should whatever. And then Miz brought up AJ's match at Super Showdown. And Daniel said, okay, Miz, you want to talk about Super Showdown? Should we talk about our match? I promise it won't take very long. because it was only a 2-minute match. Like I said, all these three guys are amazing. The best thing I got out of this feud too, or like out of this segment, is that this feud is going to be built around the WWE Championship. And I know that sounds silly for me to point out, but these last couple feuds haven't been for AJ. Kind of. Like, this last Joe feud was about AJ's family and Joe playing psychological games with AJ. Now, this feud has been Daniel's ultimate dream when he was retired was to come back and win the championship. AJ wants to keep the championship. Miz wants the championship, and he's trying to do whatever it takes to get the championship. This is all about the title, and it's all about these three men wanting the title, and it's beautiful. It's good. That's how these feuds should be built. They should all be chasing the championship. Miz then says AJ is the reason that the WWE Championship hasn't been main eventing pay-per-views. Yikes. Which is, of course, not true. We know the real reason of that, and both names starts with an R over on Raw. We don't have to mention any names. So this brought out Shelton Benjamin for a match with AJ Styles because Shelton beat Daniel last week, so he earned a match against AJ. Makes sense. I like it. Miz and Bryan stayed on commentary, and they were amazing, as always. They're just so good. I have written here, this is a match I never knew I wanted, but now I'm really happy that it happened because Shelton Benjamin, over the past couple weeks, has been proving that he belongs in this company. I'm glad he returned because he has just been an incredible talent on SmackDown. He's been putting on good matches. Good match with Daniel last week. Really good match with AJ this week. AJ hit a phenomenal forearm for the win, and Daniel stood up and was clapping for him. I love it. What are you thinking about AJ versus Bryan at Crown Jewel?
Incoming Miz interference in 3, 2, 1.
There has to be, right? They're still building this feud between Miz and Bryan, basically.
I'm telling you, we all know how this feud ends.
With Daniel winning the title off of Miz at WrestleMania.
Yep.
If that doesn't happen, because it's perfect. Daniel, okay, real quick. Daniel loses to AJ because Miz interferes. Daniel tries to interfere with a Miz championship match, but much like Johnny Gargano, ultimately lets and helps Miz win the title, right? And then Miz can go up and be like, hey, I've beaten you a couple times, and you didn't win the title when you had the chance, so you're never getting a chance at I'm never giving you a match for this belt. The only way that you could do it is if you won the Royal Rumble. Cue Daniel Bryan winning the Royal Rumble because he never has. Perfect. Miz versus Bryan at WrestleMania. Bryan wins. Easy. But they probably won't do that. Because it's WWE we're talking about. Next, we had Aiden English presenting the rest of One Night in Milwaukee.
Shoot me.
What? Yeah, okay, no, I agree. This was bad.
Don't you even try to defend this. Don't even try.
The only way I can defend this is that Aiden is really good. Aiden's acting and performance in this has been very good. But this was super anticlimactic, super disappointing, and it's basically over.
I like it better than the alternative.
With the Rock stuff?
No. I like it better than the fact that they made Lana look like a
a
runaround Sue. I can't say the word I want to say.
They were never going to do that.
Infidelity angles in WWE always tend to make the female in the story involved to look like that.
I know, but not recently. Has there been one recently? I don't think in the PG era that they would do that. Especially when A, Rusev and Lana are married, and B, Lana's on Total Divas.
Well, yeah, they wouldn't do it with these two, but anyone else they would.
Right. So Aiden showed the director's cut of the rest of the video, which Lana, as we saw last week, Lana said, "I want you," but then the clip played on, and this was awkward because she literally, they didn't pause it too much because she said, "I want you to know how much you mean to Rusev." Why that big pause? If you're going to edit the video to end right when she says, "I want you," why not just have it? It was stupid. It was very badly acted out by Lana. So obviously she didn't do that, but the video went on, and Aiden was like, "Oh, thank you. You mean a lot to me too," and made a pass at Lana, like grabbed her hip. And then Aiden cut the video again. It was like, "Oh, what happened next? I can't show the PG audience." But then Rusev and Lana come out, and they're like, "Well, Aiden, that's funny because..." Oh, first, Aiden was like, "All right, Rusev, here's what I'm asking you to do. Dump Lana to the curb and come and do what the people want and reunite Rusev Day." And Rusev goes, "Not so fast. We actually are going to show the rest of the clip because we hacked your phone." They hacked his phone, and Lana goes on to say, "Your password was I love Rusev or I heart Rusev or something like that." Which, first of all, that's stupid because knowing someone's password is not hacking. I hate when people say that. People go into someone forgot to log out of their Facebook, and you post on there, "hacked." That's not hacking.
They're playing to the demographic.
I know, it's stupid.
Just go with it.
But then, yes, they showed the rest of the video, and Lana turned down Aiden when Aiden made the pass at her, and Lana left. So now this has turned Aiden into the scumbag trying to hit on his friend's wife, basically, which I'm okay with. Yeah. They're turning him into a heel. Now, I actually will defend this a little bit. Like I said, this was anticlimactic, and it didn't really pay off the momentum that it's had the past couple weeks. But there are still subtle hints of storyline that can still be played out of this. One, why did Lana not tell Rusev about this? That's the biggest thing that they could still play off of here. Like,
they could, but this company loves some plot holes.
I agree. I'm looking out at hope for this storyline.
I don't. I'm just glad it's over.
Well, because I truly think that Aiden and Rusev have say in this. So I think Aiden. I don't know. We'll see.
I would not be upset if this. They can continue feuding, but if they can just leave Lana out of this, that would be phenomenal.
There's talks that Lana's gonna turn, which would be interesting. Well, there's rumors. I shouldn't say. There have been rumors that Lana's gonna turn, which could make this storyline very interesting. I don't know. We're gonna have to see. Ooh, excuse me. We're gonna have to see where this goes. Line of the night though. Aiden says, "You know what? That's fine. But hey, Lana, the offer's still on the table. So when you get tired of those boring Rusev days, treat yourself to an Aiden night." Money line. Like I said, Aiden's been good. Rusev chases Aiden out. That's that. And the final match, the main event of the night, is Randy Orton versus The Big Show in another World Cup qualifying match. My notes literally say, why is this the main event? This match would have been boring in 2008, let alone 2018. And then I wrote, okay, Big Show actually looks pretty good, because he does. Every time he comes back, you can tell that the road is never good to Show. He obviously has to eat. His diet can't be as good. He can't work out as well on the road. You can just tell that because when he comes back from these long hiatuses, he is just jacked. He's in really good shape. He's looked like if this had been Big Show throughout his career, he would have been something special because he looked really good here. But this was a pretty boring match. RKO out of nowhere, which, interestingly enough, and they didn't put this over on commentary, which is stupid, this is the first RKO we've seen.
And it was spent in a lackluster main event on the Big Show.
Someone did explain this pretty well, saying he was a giant, he went for the punt, he went for the DDT, none of that was working, so he had to pull out the RKO versus Big Show to win. But that's not the story they told. They didn't really acknowledge it at all. I don't know. It's interesting. Randy's in the World Cup. Cool. This was a terrible way to end the show. Overall, good show. Nothing special. But as always, SmackDown's always entertaining. But I will have to say, like I said, I think Raw was better. Yeah. So, my question for you, Connor, to wrap up the show. SmackDown 1000 next week. We know what's confirmed, and we know what's rumored. What are you most excited for SmackDown 1000?
I don't know. I won't be able to watch it.
Why not? Oh, you're...
Because if Sunday goes well, I'm in the variety show.
On Tuesday.
Oh, it's on Tuesday. Oh, it's Thursday.
Yeah.
I'm so used to that. If I get around to watching it... Oh, no, I can't watch it. I'm bowling at the UC
but still, like, if you were to go back and rewatch it, what would you... Because Rey Mysterio versus Shinsuke, you got Evolution returning. There's rumors of Edge returning. Vicky Guerrero, Teddy Long.
Holla, holla, holla.
I think there's more. I can't think of
Probably.
what it... I'm sure,
Edge and Ray.
JBL.
Edge and Ray. I mean, Lord knows my...
The Rock is teased.
One of my... He'll be there. Oh, Lord knows...
He's busy.
Lord knows everyone who... Lord knows I love Edge.
Yeah.
When he was a heel too, like it was hard to hate him because I liked him so much.
Right.
But he was so easy to hate, and that's why I loved him, because I loved John Cena back then. And then Rey Mysterio, because I get to see him back. I want to see the 619 back, and that match is going to be great. So.
That match is going to be so good. I can't wait for that.
Because Rey doesn't look like he's lost a step.
Rey looked so good in these last two Rumbles.
So I'm going to go
and
Rey.
That All In.
I'm going to go Rey versus Shin, and then the potential of Edge coming back.
For sure, it's Rey versus Shin for me. Shin's my favorite wrestler. I can't wait to see Rey back. I think that's going to be a really good match. Because it's like a specialty match at a specialty show. Rey, they're kind of treating Shinsuke as like a specialty wrestler at this point. He hasn't done much.
I can see them running this program. I would love to see a United States program between these two.
I think it's going to be a one-off, unfortunately.
But
I would love it.
My heart would combust with joy.
You know how much heat Shinsuke would get for like just Kinshasaing the crap out of Rey a couple times?
Yeah.
Like after a match.
That's why I think this match next week is going to end in a DQ.
Oh, I can't wait.
Ray gets in via DQ.
I can't wait. Yeah. So there was SmackDown. Thank you all for listening. Tune in next Monday, or next Tuesday, I should say, for the Monday Night Raw edition of 3 Count Review. And yeah, thanks for listening.